Let's get this tweet out, huh? I did not tweet. Oh, we got 5 seconds. Oh no, 3 seconds. Oh shit, everything's hot. Never mind. No seconds. We're gonna pretend that I managed to do this before the song was over. All caps. Saturday morning. Dooger. I don't know how to type that part, so I'm just gonna. It's implied, you know. Are you going to sell enamel pins at some point? Oh, we have. Yeah, we've sold pins. Cat gang pins. I've never sold like a Dodger pin, but we've sold cat gang pins. And they will be up in our new store when that's live. I look like it's really hot. It's warm. We keep getting cloud cover, which is really nice. So the cloud cover is like saving our lives. Whenever the cloud cover happens, it feels so much nicer. Currently, the sun is desperately trying to break through the clouds. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Maybe we can live. I made a huge mistake and left. I'm using a like a metal campfire mug, right? Which is fine. However, it's my classic phrase, which is fine. But I put a metal spoon in there and just left it in there, and that's so hot, my God. And also, the mug itself is very hot. How did we deal with the heat yesterday? It was a lot of like, especially in the evening, it was a lot of me like checking on Clark over and over again to make sure she was okay because she kept tossing and turning. But Martin Littlewood tweeted out being like, hey, this is the AC unit I have and I just went to check how much it was for somebody. And it's on sale right now if anybody's interested. It's like a portable AC unit like we used to have in our old place. And I was like, oh my God. I'm not going to do this like delightful English thing where I'm like, it's fine. I'm almost through the heat season. I'm not going to bother buying one. No, no, no. Sam, literally every single night that I go in there to say goodnight is wet, like wet with sweat. Our kid is sometimes having to sleep in a room that is registering at 90 degrees. Like I can't anymore. So, yeah. So I got 2 of them. I'm normally fine. But Sam's room gets crazy, and Clark's room is definitely priority. So if my room is bad during the day, Sam's never streaming at the same time as me, so I can always drag it in here. But yeah, so I got a couple of those, and they showed up this morning. So hopefully Sam will live through the night. Is there a link? If you go to Martin Littlewood's Twitter, let me see if I can find it. In the Littlewood. There it is. I was like, or not. Maybe he doesn't exist anymore. He deleted everything. Oh my God, he tweets a lot. I say as somebody who tweets a lot. Okay, this one. Boop. Okay, that's his tweet. If that helps. England was meant to be less hot today. What is happening, please? It's definitely less hot today. At least so far. It's definitely, like, more manageable. But still, you know. It's still wear as little clothing as possible weather. Yeah. It's not hot in the north. Jalouse. Very jealous. Above 30 next week. I'm so glad I bought those things. I'm so glad I bought those things then. Holy shit. Thank God. It's not just the UK. The Balkans are hot as hell. Oof. My room is right next to the boiler. I'm melting. Y'all. We'll get through this. It'll be okay. We can do this. We can do this. It's wild. I went outside thinking it was going to be hot, and then it started raining. That's what I keep. Anytime we have a super hot day, I wind up for the next couple of days just waiting for the point at which the weather's going to go, just rain and just pour rain, because that's what always happens. I'm pretty sure I put sugar in this. Yeah, I did. I remember the act of chunking it in there, so. Yeah, dude, send some of that snow and shit my way. What am I drinking? Coffee, as is my norm. Poor Clark, though. It's instant coffee, and here's why. I did not have time to make for reals coffee today. Clark, I went to put her to bed, and normally while we sing a song, we hold hands, right? So I'll say, do you want me to sing you a song? And she goes, yeah. And I go, do you want to hold hands? And she goes, yeah. Sometimes she says no, which is fine. But, so we were holding hands, and I was singing her Misty Mountains, and she slowly started to like imagine that this is her little hand. She started to like do this, and then she started to pull it like under her, and I was like, honey, what are you doing? And she was like, you are not going. Can you sing it again? And I was like, okay. So I sang it again. And then she went, can you sing it again? Like more, imagine this getting more desperate. Like every time, can you sing it again? Can you sing it again? And I was like, oh my gosh. So it turned into me trying to explain to her, like, mommy has to go to work and Clarky has to take a nap. And it's all going to be fine. And you've got your little nightlight. She's fully scared of the dark now. You've got your little nightlight and the fan is on and everything's fine. We've got our dolly. You're good. She was like, can you sing it again? Like, let go of my hand at this point. Can you sing it again? So I had to I had to very slowly back out of the room while singing and close the door. And still sing as I was closing the door and as I was climbing the stairs to come work. So Sam just heard me sing only one verse. I only know one verse of Misty Mountain. Just hearing me sing on repeat the one verse of Misty Mountain I know, just over and over as I'm like trudging through the house slowly. She's very cute. Poor Bab. Anyway, how are all of you? I hope super good. Welcome, welcome. Say and Adam, it was your 4 years. Happy anniversary. Thank you very much. He probably thought the heat was getting to you. Nah. Rebecca Necco, it was 4 years for you as well. Happy anniversary. Oh my gosh. So many subs and resubs. Thank you guys very much. Thank you. Thank you. I just woke up, so I'm okay. Like the day hasn't had a chance to establish if it's good or bad yet. Is that what you mean? But can you sing it again? The thing that makes me laugh is I've started reading The Hobbit now, right? Which, by the way, so much is different already. Like nearly everything is different. But at the point when they were singing the song, it was like, as all dwarves have, I don't remember the exact phrasing, but it was basically like all dwarves have a timbre to their voice that is very deep and resonating, etc., etc. So now every time I sing Misty Mountains, I'm like, I do not have a dwarverly voice, do I? Oh, celebrating the second wedding anniversary with my husband this weekend. Congrats! But I want to learn more verses of it because she really likes it now and like asks for it. And I feel bad that I only know the one verse. But at the same time, it makes it really easy for her to learn it. So she like sings parts of it with me, which is very cute. Pretty much everything is different. It is. It's wild. I'm like, so it's like 300 pages, this book. I'm like 50 pages in now. The elves are totally different. The way in which Bilbo like joins the group is totally different. Like it's It's just wild. The whole like troll eating scene, completely different. But I was thinking about it, like there are some things that really are just like flavor adventure text, right? Like Feely and Keely accidentally, their horse like fell in the water and they lost all their supplies and they argued about it forever, right? There are scenes like that literally are like a sentence, but if you were to put them in the movie, it like, is that scene worth adding in there, right? Stuff like that. I'm like, I get it. I get why you wouldn't add that in. I get why you're trying to consolidate some shit. I understand. Like the whole beginning of the book, I think the level to which they changed it, it's obvious that they really wanted Bilbo to be like a certain personality and go through a story arc, right? Like character wise. Like a really, in the same way, the way that I keep thinking about it is, you know, when you hear about people who go on reality shows and they're like, okay, we need you to be an archetype. Like, are you the nerd? Are you the nerd? Are you the jock? Are you the prom queen? Like that kind of shit. It felt like for the movie, after reading the beginning of this book, it feels like for the movie, they needed Bilbo to be like a really obvious character type that had a really obvious arc. Have you seen Gollum's actor read The Hobbit for charity? It's on YouTube. I have not, but I would love to watch that. Are you going to read it to Clark? I've been reading it a little bit, so I'm reading it for a book club with some friends. We all decided to read The Hobbit together, and we're trying to get through the first 10 chapters. And so I'm like on chapter 3 or 4, I can't remember. But we've basically just been by Rivendell, which again is yet another scene where I'm like, what the fuck? Like this is so completely different, this whole thing, all of this. So we've just gotten to that point where like they've been traveling for a while. Most of what Bilbo does is think about how nice it would be to be home with his kettle. And Thorin is like kind of a bitch. That tracked with book versus movie Thorin. But yeah, that's like basically where I'm at. So I've been reading it out loud to Clark a little bit. She likes listening to me read, but as makes sense, she doesn't understand what it is that I'm saying when I'm reading, really. So she prefers books where there's pictures. So like the Moomin book that I was sent is mostly just reading, but every like 1 or 2 pages there's some kind of a cool picture. So she can enjoy me reading Moomin because there's a picture, there's like something to look at, you know? Hot bitchy Thorin is the only thing in the movies I liked. Yeah, so in the book, when they show imagine, if you will, Lord of the Rings movie and Hobbit movie elves. Okay, just picture them. So in the Hobbit, when they show up to Rivendell, in the book, when they show up to Rivendell, all the elves start singing at them and like being super mischievous and like weird. And are like, do you guys want to have dinner? And they're like, oh, we really have somewhere to be. And Bilbo's like, oh man, I want to hear everybody knows how great the elves are at singing. And I'm like, who are these elves? These are completely different elves. These are like whimsical, weird ass elves compared to the movies. It's so strange. I was not expecting it whatsoever for them to show up and just start singing at them. Incredible. Yeah, super trolly. No, super, super trolly elves. They made the elves so mad in Lord of the Rings. They were just very, like, stoic, right? And I don't know if there was supposed to be an establishment of, like, different types of elves. I have no idea, because, again, I've never made it through the Lord of the Rings books, and I'm just now, like, doing the Hobbit. Which, by the way, all of you, I've said this, I think, yesterday, or maybe the day before, but all of you who said the Hobbit is, like, so much, like, easier to ingest, like, it's way easier to get through because it was intended for kids. Yeah, it's delightful. It's wonderful for me. I'm blasting through it for my typical speed, right? I'm really liking the pacing of it. So I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I don't know that I could immediately go into Lord of the Rings and then be like, okay, let's do this. But that's okay. So there are, like, high elves versus wood elves in not like versus, but, like, there are different types of elves in Lord of the Rings canonically. Okay, cool. Is that why I don't think that this is, like, book canon, because I think she was created for, not for goofs, but I'm gonna say for goofs. I think she was created for goofs, but, like, the like, wood elf girl that Keeley falls in love with in the Hobbit movies, is that why Legolas was like, I really like her, Dad, and he was like, no. Is that why? Or was it because he was like a prince, an elf prince? And so his dad was like, no. Or was it because she's not in the books and it would be weird if Legolas was like, Toriel, I love you. And Toriel was like, cool. And then they got together. And then in the Lord of the Rings books, he was like, I'm a free agent. Although, to be fair, Toriel, like, I don't think was interested in Legolas anyway, but, like, you know what I'm saying. I liked her as a character. But again, I have not read the book, so I'm working my way through it. We just got to Rivendell. We just got to, you know, them finding out what's going on with that map and shit. Hello from France. Hello. I'm drinking from that Sainsbury's crab mug right now. It's a good mug. Clark loves this mug. I've realized. So, although when you put a hot thing into it, it makes it really difficult to drink out of right away, which is fine. Because I don't typically drink, you know, hot out of the kettle sort of drinks. But, these cannot be thrown and broken by my kid. So I'm starting to, like, focus on, like, metal camping mugs. Because she thinks they're cool. And she can walk around with them and practice drinking out of them and all kinds of stuff. And if she, you know, has a fit and throws it across the room, I know it's fine. Oh, Sleepytron, thank you. I'm so glad that you like it. I haven't seen you since the Husky StarCraft interview. What? What up? That's a very long time ago. How are you? Yeah, I stream like every day. I chitty chat with you guys and I play games, and I live in England now. I have a kid. Lots has changed since last you saws me. And do D&D and do D&D. Might have to hang out more then. I would love that. Thanks for swinging by and saying hi. Yeah, every Saturday we do wait, how come my title still says Blightbound? Does it actually in For Real's Life? No, it doesn't, thank God. I was like, I changed it. I know I did. Yeah, on Saturdays we just hang out and talk for a little bit. So that's the plan today. New game. Yes, new game today. New game playing my boy. I have many boys, but yeah. Alice. I changed the pronunciation of his name because the way that I put it during Super Cousin Time is it read very like modern femme for his name to be Alice. So I chose a different pronunciation for it. Yeah. Oh my God, Zacky Wacky. I still can't see it. I have tried everything. Chat, I have tried everything to get BTTV to work. Again, I have uninstalled it. I've reinstalled it. I don't know what I need to do to be able to see Zacky Wacky. But the second that I added Zacky Wacky in as an emote, the whole thing busted. So, my heart. A sneak peek of Alice's voice. Oh my gosh. He's just very haughty, isn't he? He just thinks that, you know, if everybody could pay attention to him and listen to him for once, maybe we would all get through all of this. It's that kind of a thing. He's 13. He's a dick. He knows he's good at magic. So I'm very excited to play him. Session 0, we've already played the situation of me, like, showing up on the boat. So, I can give you guys like kind of a brief, like, this is what happened during session 0 if you want. But our first official game is going to be tonight at 9 p.m. BST, which is England time. I asked him to pin it, so it'll be easy to find. 4 p.m. EST, 1 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. BST. It's on Brett Ultimus's channel. So it's really cool because all of the games that he's doing now are based on the games that we did offline. So basically what happened is we had a huge group of friends that all wanted to play D&D. And Brett was like, I've DM'd quite a bit. I would love to DM for you guys. But there's too many of you, basically. And he was like, I don't know, maybe I should just like keep it to one game and have a rotating cast, or like not cast. It was offline. It was just friends. But he was like, I don't know if it should be like rotating people for whoever's free, or if I should have 2 games. And I was like, oh, the 2 game thing is cool. Like I did that game with Satine forever ago, where there were 2 different games going at the same time that were like overlapping each other, right? Like they were affecting each other because both groups were in the same area. And he was like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. So he wound up doing that and having 2 games. So there were 2 groups of us that were like on the same continent, like trying to do separate things. And we interacted a couple of times and it was a shit show, but it was very fun. And at the end of that, all of us died. There was basically like a huge cataclysmic event that we caused. And all but one of us died. It was insane. It was one of those, like, you have to roll like a 30 or higher in order to live through this. And Joe's character, Sterling, rolled a 31 and lived, and the rest of us died. So that whole thing is just so sad. But so all of the games that he's doing now are like I think 500 years in the future. So after that, all of the games are happening same world, so the same way that we did offline. They're all same world. They can potentially affect each other, but they're like totally different types of groups. We play 5. Yeah. But it's cool because in this world, the effects of what we did, like there are kind of like mental echoes of it throughout the world. So people have recollections of specific heroes and like follow different heroes, and like pray to them and things. So, for example, my character, Wazy, was a hobgoblin. And she was very, like, matriarchal, just very protective of her people, right? And so, her people meaning, like, her group. So, 500 years down the line, the goblins all worship Wazy. Or they all, like, think, like, oh, Wazy was strong, Wazy would do this, that kind of a thing, which is super cool. So all of us as players now, if we want, we can choose to like have a hero that we feel like connected with or have learned about in the past and stuff like that. It's super cool. What would Wazy do? Probably punch somebody. She couldn't read. She could, she could fight really well. She had no filter. She's like but way down the line, she's become a symbol of like strength and protection and things like that. What would Wazy do? WWWD. WWWD. Yeah. So I'm very excited. It's really cool to like be playing in that same universe. So currently I think there have been 3 sessions in the Arcane Academy one. And so their games have been fun. It's a lot of them. Like they're literally students at an academy. So Brett had developed like a mini game where they all got to create their own cantrip and like cool stuff like that. Our game is pirate themed. So in session 0, so in our session 0 is basically like, here's, like an old sea captain who's retired long ago. He just chills and drinks and does his thing, right? He's got like a little hut that used to belong to his parents. He just chills there. He's got his ship. He's good. There's another captain on the island who's played by Gerard. There's another captain on the island who is seen as like kind of a cursed individual. He went out with a crew, and when he came back, he was the only one left. The ship that he sailed on has been left abandoned for so long, people have decided it's haunted. And so he's been like desperately trying to rebuild his ship and go out and have adventures again, but has a lot of like PTSD and doesn't really know where to start and is kind of just like floundering. Super Shigi's character is, I think, from a one shot that they did. So Hunter's character is the old captain, and then Shigi's character, I can't remember her character's name, but she's like an elf who's just kind of like happy-go-lucky and chill and just wants to have fun. So they hop on a ship. This is all session 0. I'm not spoiling anything. This is all stuff that happened in session 0, which you'll never see. It was like an establishment episode for us as players. Yeah, Laura is in it. She's so sweet. Oh my God. Like literally the sweetest person I've ever talked So they had reason to believe that there was treasure, like, out a little ways in the water. They convinced Gerard's character to get on the boat with them, and help out. So the three of them hopped on the boat, sailed out a little ways, and suddenly, even though it was a bright, lovely day, suddenly, clouds showed up, and lightning struck right through the boat. Not all the way through. And when they looked through the hole, they saw me on the ship. Basically went down to the bottom of the ship and were like, hey, are you okay? And I woke up fucking manic. Because, you know, I'm just like showed up on a ship and I have no idea where I am or what happened necessarily. And my character basically implied, like, I tried to cast a spell and it didn't work. And I need to get back, but I don't even know where I am. And that's kind of where we ended. So, yeah, it was a very dramatic entrance. Brett did a good job of, like, not explaining at all what was going to happen with me or who I was or anything. He was just like, yep, guys, hop on a ship. And they were like, okay. we still haven't met Dodger's character. He was like, it's fine. Just hop on the ship. You're good. It's okay. So, yeah. So where we left off is I've shown up. I've sort of explained who I am. And realized, oh my God, are these pirates? I couldn't have landed on like a normal ass ship. I landed on a goddamn pirate ship. And, they still haven't found the treasure that they set out for initially. So all of that was session 0. That was our like establishment episode. So the way that Brett is doing things is like he'll let all of us have an episode where we make sure that we all know the rules, because not everybody has played before. Make sure that everybody knows the rules and how to play. And also the party is like gathered already. So we go into it with an established, like, this is why we're all here. And then things that happened in session 0, I think it's like up to us if we want to explain what happened, or maybe Brett explains. I'm not totally sure. So yeah, that's the game that we're going to be playing tonight. It's me, Gerard the Completionist, Doogie Shed, and Super Shigi. And I think that it's going to be a really fun group. I'm really excited. Brett Ultimus is the DM. 9 p.m. BST, 4 p.m. EST, 1 p.m. PST. Thanks. I think it should be fun. Have you ever watched Arcadium? I'm in an Arcadium game. I'm in an Arcadium game. Can we get some Zacky Wackies in chat? Can we get some Zacky Wackies in chat? I'm in Strange Roads. I play Zacharias in Strange Roads, if you watch that one. But have you watched him? I have watched him. I once had a druid who was very small and shy with a soft voice. At night, she transformed into a bear to let loose and wreck shit. Damn. I like that. I've been watching Broken Bonds. Yeah, that's the one where they're all criminals, right? Criminals. It has like Lily Pichu in them in it. Or is that a different one? I can't keep track. I specifically try not to. I'm so glad too. Sorry, that's like 2 thoughts just cut off. So I try not to watch too much of any of the other Arcadium games because, again, they're all in like this living world where everything is happening at the same time and we can all, you know, fuck with each other's shit by accident. So for me, I'm like, it's more fun if something happens and I don't know why it happened, right? As much as I love watching the other games, specifically like the game that Sam is in and stuff, I think those games are so fun to watch because I know a lot of those guys. But I don't want to spoil myself on stuff too much. So normally if I'm going to tune in, it's for like 15 minutes at a time or 20 minutes, right? So somebody, I can't remember who, and I don't know if they're in chat right now, but shout out to you. Somebody was like, "Oh man, there's another campaign, this other campaign, you should probably watch it. Like some cool stuff happened." And I was like, "I don't know if I want to, just in case it affects me." And they were like, "I don't think that it will, but I don't know." And then at the at the end at the end of our last Strange Roads session, they put in chat, "Never mind, I'm so glad you didn't watch it." And now I'm like, what does that mean? And now I really want to go watch it. But like, it solidified for me, like, I shouldn't watch any of the other games. Like, you just never know which ones are gonna tie into each other. So yeah. Yeah, Bulma? My sweet daughter left her there and still has not put her back. Our game is called Strange Roads, but Arcadium has a ton of games all going at the same time. There's typically always going to be one. There's typically always going to be one that only has a couple of episodes. Like, he staggers them pretty well. So ours, we just finished session 10. But, like, there's a game that I think has only had one session. Broken Bonds, I think, has had 2, maybe 3. Cody, what's up, dude? There's also situations like Sam's team. I didn't realize they changed their name. So they were Gambler's Delight. And now their sessions are called something like the name of their campaign is something different now. So sometimes you might be like, "Oh man, I really miss that group," but they're just called something else now. Now they're called Gambler's Sorrow. Each season is always a different name. Oh, interesting. So when we finish Strange Roads on episode like 15 or whatever, when we finish Strange Roads, it's gonna have a new campaign title. Is Shattered Crowns the one that Octo is in? Stranger Roads. And eventually it can be Stranger Things. Okay. Scattered Clowns. Are you confirmed for a season 2 for your game? No. But I would love it if it kept going. Us being on episode 10 and being like, "Oh my god, we only have 5-ish left," is like, only 5-ish left. I keep wondering if he's ever done a thing where like a group has split up and people have joined other groups. Like, say that he did a campaign where a group like imploded at the end. Could those characters like meander to other places or join other things? Has that ever happened before? Right? 2.5 clerics. That should be the name of our next campaign. Is it common for that to happen in D&D? Same characters for different campaigns. Well, I think in this situation, it's more like it's a continuation of the same story. right? So say that our group like reached the conclusion of a thing, and Arcadium was like, cool, that's going to be the end of season 1. Season 2 will have like a different focus, or we'll continue in a different direction. Same group of people doing the same kind of shit, but just like a different name to denote what's going on in the game, I guess. But say that like, again, please don't spoil any of the Arcadium games. Definitely don't spoil ours. People are still like finding out about it or are not caught up, etc., etc. So I'm also trying to be very spoiler free, but like I'm just very curious how our game is going to end. Some people are addicted and have spent all their free time to catch up with the old games. Haha, what? I feel like you've said a few times that you're like now completely invested and addicted to the Arcadium games, which is amazing. Oh, yeah, that's absolutely a thing. Urmian said in Session 0 for Broken Bonds, he explained the different campaigns have different parts of RP exploration or combat. Is Strange Roads more RP focused, or did that happen naturally? Yes, so when I've talked about this a little bit before, but when we all had our Session 0, which was off stream, he like presented us with different options of campaigns. He had like ideas for campaigns already planned out, and said, here are a few options. Discuss amongst yourselves like what sort of a thing you would like to play. And each one is also going to say if it's more combat heavy, more RP heavy, or a little bit of both. And I don't want to say I pushed. I think that makes it sound like I was being really like domineering. But I basically from the get-go was like, I think that this group would be really good for RP stuff. I think that we all enjoy it, right? Timac comes from a strong RP background. Jesse and I have played a ton. We both love going hard on the RP stuff. So yeah, we were like, I just made it really clear from the get-go. I think that we should go for something that has a decent amount of RP options in it. And everybody else kind of agreed. And so we did Strange Roads, because Strange Roads was pitched as like, you're going to be on the road and you're going to meet a lot of people. So the RP options will be there. But obviously we've had much more RP interaction and like, I'm not going to say that. We've had more RP interaction just within the group, which is great. Which is really great. I think it's created like really specific like relationships between all of us. Yeah, he's got Strange Roads on his YouTube, but people have said the first episode is kind of borked. So if you go to Arcadium's Twitch and you look in his highlights, you'll be able to find episode 1 of Strange Roads, and you can watch it in his highlights. But the rest of them, I believe, are on YouTube, or at least are slowly like being put on YouTube. He's re-uploaded it now. Never mind, they're all on YouTube. As someone who knows nothing about D&D, I'm smiling and nodding right now. So I spent the morning making a custom character for Lady Blackbird, because a few friends and I have been talking about doing a game together. And we were discussing, like, what game do we want to play? What should we do? And I was like, well, Lady Blackbird is supposed to be really short. I would love the opportunity to do some DMing. This is just off camera, just like for fun. And I was like, so if you guys are down to like be in a call and just kind of like goof our way through it while I'm sort of figuring out how the game works, that would be great. And they were like, sure, all of us are interested, which the game, including DM, is built for 6 people. So in this situation, it was 6 players and myself. And we were like discussing, okay, well, how could we incorporate another person? One person could play all of the NPCs, since I'm already going to be like trying to figure out the rules and stuff. I don't know. And then I found kind of like a companion PDF for Lady Blackbird that like goes into more detail about the world and gives you tons of options for like tags and keys and secrets and stuff, which are all elements that you use to play the game. And one little tiny part of it was like, if you're making a custom character, just make sure that you establish like this many tags, this many keys, this many secrets. And that's all that you need to make a new character. And I was like, cool, I'll just make another character. So I spent this morning making a character. Which was pretty fun. It's interesting because Lady Blackbird specifically at the beginning of it is like, don't plan anything. Right? So if you're somebody who hasn't DM'd a whole lot, I think that it's really difficult to read that and be like, totally, don't plan anything. Just don't plan anything. It's fine. So I'm glad that I'll be playing it with some like old friends, because a couple of them are like really seasoned DMs, number one. And number two, everybody's going to be totally chill with just being like, and I've had an interest in if I can figure out how the game works and how it like flows and everything. I would love to play it with Sam's family, since it's supposed to be like a pretty short game. So that's very John Harper. Don't plan anything is a John Harper thing. All of these games have that principle. I'm fine with it. I just think the first time that you play a game that's like, don't plan anything, it's a little difficult because it comes with the caveat of the DM has to ask a lot of questions, which I enjoy doing anyway as a DM. The DM has to ask a lot of questions and also like think of sort of leading questions, right? So I have to know all of the characters really well and like the ways in which they are expected to behave to ask them the right questions when they choose to do things. So I guess like in the don't plan anything sort of vein, it's more like prep a lot but don't plan, right? Like don't decide what the campaign is going to be like, don't decide, you know, what the NPCs are going to be or any of that, but like know the characters and know the world well enough that you can answer questions and you can ask them pointed questions, right? So I like the imagination to do on the spot improv stuff. I've played a few different sort of improv heavy games with Sam's family. I've never really played them with my family, but Sam's family's big enough that, you know, it's easier because there are a lot of people. But I always get a lot of like props for just like going for it. Which is nice, which is very sweet. But a whole family of D&D players? No, none of them have played D&D except for Sam, but I'm trying. I've been pitching it really hard to them because I think specifically Sam's mom, I think would have an absolute blast with it. I also think that our little nephew Charlie would love it. He's 8. I think that like a manageable sized campaign he would have a lot of fun with. Hi, Molly. I have a great intro adventure I could send you. Oh, that would be great. Who would be DMing, you or Sam? I would be absolutely down to DM. I'm planning on DMing, but I think that Sam would really excel as a DM. I think that he would do incredible. As it is now, the plan is, because I really love like the world building and playing the characters and all of that sort of stuff. But even after this many years of playing D&D, I'm still like not rock solid on the rules, right? There are some things that I still do not understand why you do them or how you do them. Specifically things that apply to being a spellcaster. Specifically spellcaster things. I don't play spellcasters, like, ever. I'm currently playing a warlock, right? And this character that I'm playing tonight is a sorcerer. So I'm, like, trial by fire learning how they work. But, like, spell slots and sorcery points and all of that sort of shit, I don't know how any of that works. I'm, like, figuring it out as I go. So, yeah. Tell me one thing Sam isn't good at so I can get some self-esteem back. Anytime he tries to chop something in the kitchen, he hurts himself. Does that help? I know. Like, the kitchen is like a dead zone for Sam. I don't know what it is. Every single time I watch him open up the oven to try and take something out of there, you can clip this and send it to him. He knows it's true. Anytime he opens up the oven to grab something, I just happen to walk in and I'm like, "Where's the oven mitt? Grab the oven mitt." And he goes, "I don't know where it is." Keep in mind, the oven mitt has always been in the exact same place. Always. Always. But I think in the moment of, like, I need to get this out of the oven, he doesn't want to bother to grab it because there's a towel nearby. But, like, the possibility of the heat to travel through the towel and still burn you is high, right? So I'm always, whenever I see him grabbing stuff with a towel, I'm like, "Honey, please don't burn your fingies. Please grab the mitt. Please grab the oven mitt." And he's like, "I don't know where it is, so..." Doctor, he used knives. I know he used knives. He's also used knives to get things out of the oven before. He's a goob. He's a big goob. And I love him a lot. But he's like a kitchen barbarian, and I don't know what to do with him. I don't know what to do with him. Yeah, imagine if you will. There's a store-bought meat pie in the oven. Sam opens up the oven to get it out. There is an oven mitt in this kitchen. There are plenty of towels in this kitchen. Instead, he grabs 2 butter knives. Tries to, like, lift it up like this. Oh, my love. Metal conducts heat. Why would you do that? I can't. I can't. Oh my gosh. So. But this is all, you know all of the Sam legends. Sam has done lots of goofy, silly things before. And I love him. I love him for it. I love his, like, act first sort of mentality with a lot of things. It's it's lovely, honestly. It makes for the most incredible stories. But he's a pro dad. He is. He is a pro dad. Are you growing your hair out? No, but I also do not want to go to a salon. I still, like, don't want people outside touching me. Which I think is reasonable. I still don't want people outside touching me. So I watched quite a few videos of, like, how to cut your hair, and I actually had a dream last night that I cut my own hair, but that I cut it way too short and it looked terrible. But I still would love to cut it back to, like, where it was, which, God, my hair has grown a lot since I got it cut last. It would be, like, that much off, right, to get it back to, like, the kind of bob that I had. But I haven't tried to cut my hair since early 20s, I want to say. Something like that. Ask Sam to cut it? No, that's okay. I've said before, if I did like a little buzzed patch in the back of my head, I would 100% have Sam do that because I think that would be really fun. And, you know, if he fucks it up, it's like whatever. But cutting all of it, I don't know about that. Was the Bob the mom hairstyle? I guess. I didn't know that moms like had such a cornered market on hair length. It's incredible. My hubs did my undercut 10 out of 10, highly recommend. Yeah, exactly. Right? Like if it's literally like I want a little triangle of buzzed bit in the back because I think that's super cute. Like, why couldn't Sam do that? He absolutely could. But cutting all of it, I'm nervous to cut my own hair. Like, yeah, I think currently, from what I can tell, in England, it's like overall there are lighter restrictions than before, but in some areas, the caseload is still very high. So some sections, some areas have stricter rules just for that area. But they're expecting a second wave here, which we've been reading was going to happen for a very long time. They're expecting a second wave here, so that's why they suddenly were like, hey, maybe everybody should wear masks. And all of us were like, we should have been wearing masks a long time ago, but okay. You know, all of that sort of stuff, so... Yeah, it's still not great here. So, when we went seaside, we 100% like drove by an area where it straight up looked like there was no lockdown at all. No masks, people everywhere. We were like, what is going on? This feels like a different world. Like, this is so wild. So knowing that there are, I mean, I've seen pictures of that, but knowing that there are towns where that's the just like general behavior is like, yeah, it'll be fine, stresses me out. But, fortunately, pretty much we're like not in a town or inside of a village. We're like outside of one. And pretty much every time we go to the store, even though all of the different supermarkets have been like, we're not going to force people to wear masks, even though they're mandatory. But if you could please wear masks, that would be great. Every time we go, everyone's wearing a mask. Thank God. So, yeah, right? I think it's because so many videos came out from America of people just like being awful to employees at places where they had mandatory masks. And so they were like, we're not going to ask our employees to like fight with people. That's not their job. But at the same time, it's like a lot of people still, the only place that they're going is the supermarket, right? They're staying home and then they're going out to get necessities and they're coming back. If we have mandatory masks and the only place that they're going does not have mandatory masks, has like, please wear a mask, doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose? Like, I just don't. It's fine. It'll... What can you do? Anyway, sorry. I didn't mean for us to get on this topic. But please, be considerate of your fellow humans. Wear a mask. Help ease the strain. We'll all get through this together. We just got to be smart about it. Wear a mask so we can watch Sam go to Japan. Yeah, he wants to go so bad. He's been talking with Alex a lot, I think. He wants to visit number one Alex really badly. Wear a mask. Look like a cool anime character. Hell yeah. Yeah, Sam is still like working his way through all of the subathon goals. If he wants to hike Fuji, I give guided tours. Amazing. That's so cool. Yeah, Sam lived in Hong Kong for like 6 months, I think. How many goals are left? The only ones that I think he hasn't done are the trip to Japan, which he has to wait on, and the John Wick D&D game. I think those are the only ones left, but I'm not sure. Wasn't Fat Thor one? He did wear Fat Thor for something. But I don't remember the exact situation. Do you worry it might be over a year or two before it's safe to visit the US? I want to be able to, for a couple of reasons that I think are in line with plenty of people out there. To be able to go to the US would ease my mind quite a bit because my parents are older. And because, you know, their big thing with me moving to England was, you have Clark now, and we want to be in Clark's life, and we want to know her. So basically we moved, and it created a situation where every time we have a video call, you know, my parents were like, she's getting so big. Because at this point they would have already visited, was the plan. They would have already come by, right? And they wanted to like visit for a long time and make sure that they were consistently like around her and hanging out with her, and like they would come here once a year and I would go there once a year for long trips and all of that. So there's definitely a sad element of me going, I really hate that I can't be with them if I need to be, but also in a less urgent sense, it's sad that like we would have had a couple of opportunities already for them to see Clark and they haven't been able to. So it's just been video calls. Fortunately, Clark is now very responsive and like involved in the video calls. For a while there, she just ignored them, which was very sad. But she's reached the age now where she'll be like, Nana, look at this, right? And she'll like bring things over and she'll talk to them and show them things. And so that's super cute. And I think that helps a lot. But yeah, again, I think a lot of people, even in their own country, right? If they're in a situation where it's like, I can't really visit my parents, or I can't really visit my kids, or like any of those things, there is a certain amount of anxiety there. So much love to all of you. Again, it's going to be okay. We'll all get through it. But, yeah, that's really my main thing, is the option, right? I would love the option to be able to go there if I need to. Which part of Japan would Sam go to? I mean, neither of us have ever been to Japan at all. I believe that Alex lives somewhere in Tokyo. Not that that narrows it down. Tokyo is huge. I think he lives somewhere in Tokyo. So if the plan is to visit Alex and then have Alex just kind of be like, here are the places to go for your first trip, man. Like, here's the stuff here's some things you want to see. From what I can tell from all of my friends having gone to Japan in the past, 1, 2, 3, even 4 trips, you still come back being like, I have so much more I want to see there, which is really cool. I personally am drawn to the idea of seeing some of the like Japanese countryside and things like that. That's more appealing to me. But I've never been to Tokyo, but what I've seen of Tokyo looks honestly like overwhelming. So there isn't really 1 or 2 must-see things. There are a billion smaller things to see. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe, right? I'm living in Tokyo for 1 more week. I grew up in Tokyo. It's big enough that there are tons of non-overwhelming areas. That's good. I just want to see a Lawson store. I just want to see a Lawson store. You know. My maiden name is Lawson. So when my brother went there, he was like, oh! And now I feel like I have to take a similar picture of me going, oh! We've got some Valentines to read. Fatal the Baptist says to Dinah for the 40 months. Aw. Scarlett threw a little emote in there as a Valentine. Thank you. Patience says, hi, this is Dodger and you're watching my show. Got baited into it. Aomaz the Cat Gangster says, I'm a trained chef and I hurt myself at least once a week. Amazing. And hi, my name is Rune says, to the newly hatched bumblebee queen I found struggling to fly on my lawn. I brought it to a clover blossom and watched over her until her wings dried and she fluffed her fur enough to fly off and find her hive. Also, to all you cat gangsters and burritos. Aww. And Potato for the Doog fart. And Edward, who just now redeemed a Valentine and said, yo, I just figured out this is a thing. I wanted to do one of these. I'm feeling really grateful. I haven't been around here for a while with all the COVID stuff going on. As I'm a warehouse worker for an essential retailer in England, my work schedule from mid-March to end of July was insanity. But in the little spare time I have been catching a few VODs here and there, they've really helped with my mood during these bad times, and it's nice to be back. Oh, Edward. Big hugs to you, bud. And Dark Memory says, Dodger, thanks for keeping my sanity together. Much love from Bulgaria. Oh, thank you. Thanks for watching. Oh, Hen Hen, how do I pronounce that? To everyone celebrating, happy Eid? E-I-D? How do I pronounce that? Eid? Happy Eid. Like aid. Happy Aid? Is it both? My dad says hi to the video call. Hi, Dad. It's like Eid. Eid, Eid, Aid. It's Eid. Everyone is saying different. I mean, maybe, you know, different people pronounce it different ways. Happy Eid, happy Eid, happy Aid. Someone said it's a Muslim holiday, so there you go. Thank you, Hen Hen. Yeah, I think there's definitely some accents at work in this chat currently. So I didn't get to tell you about this because I canceled the stream yesterday because it was so hot. But yes, poor Mr. Fishy has passed away. I tweeted about it yesterday. Literally, the morning yesterday was we woke up, went downstairs, I realized, oh my god, Mr. Fishy's dead. Clark looked at the fish and was like, what's wrong? And I was like, I think Mr. Fishy died. I'm not going to make something up, right? So I was like, I think Mr. Fishy died. And she goes, oh, he died. I was like, yeah, I think he died. And Sam and I were trying to figure out what happened. It could be the snails, right? I picked up snails from my mother-in-law and put them in the tank. They could have brought something weird with them, but they had been in like a goldfish pond for a very long time. So I don't know if like that, if they could have brought something into the like ecosystem of the tank that the goldfish didn't like. It also got extremely hot that night. So we don't know if the water like suddenly got really, really hot. The other one is that I changed the water that day, and I might not have let the chemicals sit in the water long enough before I swapped the water over. There's like all kinds of stuff that could have happened. And a lot of people were very sweet in their responses being like, well, it could also be that like, you know, he was from just a generic pet store. He could have come with something, right? If he already had like a parasite or something, like there's nothing you could have done about that. But yeah, so it's very sad. But I've realized through research of my own and also from responses that goldfish are not like great tank pets anyway, unless you have a huge tank, right? This like misconception, this misinformation that I have believed my whole life of, yeah, goldfish just grow to whatever size of tank you have them in and they're fine, is apparently not true at all. And they should have like a lot of space. So, after reading all of that and finding out about that, I was like, okay, we've like got a nice tank now. We can do all of our due diligence to like get the tank ready. But I've had a ton of betta fish, fighting fish. They're beautiful. They're like really relaxing to watch swim around. They don't want to be with other betta fish. They stay small. People were suggesting other fish that can live with betta fish and be fine. But they're just like really beautiful little angry fish. And so I was like, maybe we should just get her a betta fish. Because I've had them before and I know how they behave and stuff. So, I think that's what we're going to go for instead. So yeah, it was very sad. We buried Mr. Fishy. Sam was horrified, by the way, that I was like really upfront with Clark that the fish died. He was like, I told him that Mr. Fishy died, and he was like, oh, did Clark see? And I was like, yeah, we came downstairs together. Of course she saw. And he was like, did you tell her that he died? And I was like, yeah. I'm not going to lie to my kid. I was like, yes, I told her that the fish died. We buried the fish together. And he was like, you buried it with her? I was like, yeah. We said nice things about Mr. Fishy and we buried him in a plant pot. And I'm going to make a little label. I'm going to make a little sign that says Rip Mr. Fishy and he can hang out. It'll be fine. Sam was like... But honestly, I think if she had been even just a little bit older, she might have been more upset about it. But honestly, she was like very forward thinking about all of this. She was like, Mr. Fishy's died. And I was like, yeah, Mr. Fishy died. I think mommy probably did something. Or maybe he was sick, but he's dead now. So we can bury him. And we'll make sure that we do everything right next time, and we'll try again in a little bit, okay? And she was like, okay, and we buried him together, and she went, bye, Mr. Fishy, and we put him outside, and that was it. Like, it was no drama whatsoever, but the way that Sam was talking about it was like, she's gonna be traumatized for the rest of her life about Mr. Fishy, and I don't think she is. I think she's fine. Yeah, I was like, it's okay. He's swimming free in heaven. And then she went swimming free. And I was like, yes, swimming free. And I really wanted to make a free Iwatobi Swim Club joke, but it wouldn't have played very well with a 2-year-old. So splash free. We've talked about this a little bit before, and I don't want us to rest on this for too long because I think it always creates like, not a bad conversation in chat, but a kind of like a somber conversation in chat. But I've never had like negative associations with dying. I've never been afraid of dying. When people have died, I've acknowledged like, I'm sad because I won't get to interact with them anymore, right? I'll miss them, but I'm not sad for them dying, really. So I've always had like a very, people die, right? And I don't know if that's because like people have kind of like consistently passed away like throughout me growing up, and I've always been okay with accepting it. But yeah, to me it was like, isn't it better for us to like talk about it kind of normally with her than to be like, he's sleeping, right? Isn't it better for us to not treat it like it's this awful thing that we have to hide from her? It's the same kind of, not the same, but like sort of vibe wise, it's the same as when people talk about like, how do you discuss sex with your kid? Like, I don't know, it's a very normal thing that you could discuss like a normal person, or you can treat it like it's a really awkward thing to talk about. And that will probably affect how they perceive that topic, right? And I don't have any intention of like discussing death with her in a way that feels like it's an awkward topic, or at least I don't want to, you know. I can't spend money on non-essentials, but I need coffee, and I'm ordering that amazing Dodger Coffee Co. not decaf bag. Yes, so this is like a total heel turn, but David called me the other day, and he was like, "So I need to talk with you about some Dodger Coffee stuff." And I was like, "Okay." So we're talking about like normal things, and then he was like, "All right, so just to like round off this conversation, we've run out of Dodger coffee bags." And I was like, "Oh, that's great," because that means that, you know, we're selling well. I was like, "Oh, that's great." And he goes, "Yeah, it's great. But we can't print more." Like, it's going to take a while for them to get them to us, longer than it has in the past. And we didn't realize, right? And so he was like, "Here's a pitch. What if," because we still have so many decaf bags because decaf doesn't sell very well. He was like, "What if we took the decaf bags and we just printed a bunch of stickers that say not decaf and put it over where it says decaf?" And I was like, "Great, I love it." So that's literally currently right now, if you have a recurring subscription or if you go and you buy Dodger Coffee currently, you will get that like the really pretty white decaf bag, but with a big sticker that says not decaf in block letters. So funny. I was like, amazing. I love it. So now everybody's like, wait, you mean there's a limited edition Dodger Coffee bag that I could get currently? It's so funny. Yeah, you know. I really love the decaf bags. I think that they're beautiful. So, unfortunately, you know, most people who are looking for coffee aren't looking for decaf coffee. So we don't sell nearly as much decaf, but the decaf bags are so pretty. In before someone who orders decaf receives one, very confused. Is that a spider on the carpet? I don't know, is it? Is there a spider? There's a fly. I get a lot of spiders in here, so it could be. It's under the desk now. What's with all these flies? Hello? Hello? I don't see him. Yeah, I don't see a spider. He probably just booked it somewhere. Was it like ran along this way? Or ran along this way? Okay, he might be like under this. Buddy! No. He's hiding. He doesn't want nothing to do with me. I'm just smart. Don't trust humans. This is not a bit. It was real. I know. I'm looking for him. I'm fine with spiders. It's okay. I mean, I assume he's big enough that y'all could see him, right? But yeah, I don't see him anywhere, so here's the clip. Oh, pretty. Oh, look at him! Oh! He's just trucking! He's trucking! Where did you go, bud? He came along this way. Yeah, I don't know where he went. He didn't look too big, though. It's fine. What can you do? Is it by the radiator? That's the opposite side. That's also a moth on the floor there. I assume he's dead. Pretty much any bug that winds up in here and doesn't leave by the time it gets hot just dies in here. So it's yucky. It's yucky. How do you get rid of spiders? I typically don't. If they're huge, I'll put them outside. Yeah. Because otherwise my kid will like poke them to death. So, yeah, if I find like a huge spider, I'll put it outside. But little ones, I'm like, if you want to eat the other stuff that's in this house, go for it. Any update on buying the house? No updates. Nothing's been like solidified. But thank you for all the well wishes with it. We're currently also, since we're in the process of being like, could we get a mortgage? We're also just like looking at other places just so that we're not putting all of our eggs in one basket. So yeah, thanks guys. Isn't she scared of bugs? Who, me or my kid? Clark, so when we buried Mr. Fishy and put Mr. Fishy outside, Clark went outside and then a bee like buzzed right up to her face, scared her, like shocked her so bad that she like flew backwards, like flew backwards and fell on her butt and now is terrified of anything that buzzes. which it's hot and there are flies in this house, right? So pretty much all day yesterday and all morning this morning, if she heard like one of those loud ass flies, she'd be like, I was like, it's just a fly, honey. They can't hurt you. Remember how I was saying that she would like chase flies around the house and she loved watching flies? Not anymore. No. They're on her shit list now. She's like, Mommy, can you get rid of it? It's a fly, honey. I'll do my best, but it's a fly. Hi, Siren. How are you? Yeah. Oh, having a kid, man. It's wild. Yeah, she's got her little nightlight now. She doesn't like being in the dark anymore. It's interesting because up until the point that they start getting scared of stuff, you can always say to yourself, like, well, a lot of it is surely learned, right? But part of it, I guess, with like the scared of the dark thing, part of it is, has their brain developed to the point that they can, because our eyes, I guess, and our brains naturally will try to find familiar shapes even in the dark, which is why we like see things at night. And so when your kid, I guess, reaches the age, and again, don't quote me on any of this, I can't like back any of this up with actual research, but from what I've read, once they reach an age where they can look into the dark and like see things or think that they've seen things, that's when like being scared of the dark can potentially happen. So we're like, oh, poor baby. So when we went on our trip and she was in a room that she didn't know, like trying to sleep in a room that she didn't recognize and she didn't know, and she woke up in the middle of the night sobbing, it makes sense to me that she woke up and was like, I don't know where I am, but I think I see like scary stuff, right? And so I had to literally left the flashlight function on my phone on all night for her, because if I turned it off and she woke up, she would start sobbing. So I just left it on all night. And then when we got home and it was like her normal room, on the nights when it was still kind of light out when we would put her to bed, she was fine. But it's starting to get darker now around her bedtime. So if she gets into bed and it's a little dark in there, it's like panic town. So she's got a little nightlight now. But yeah, so it's not always us. It's not like a learned behavior always. It can also be like, you know, like when I watched Jumanji. I watched Jumanji as a kid, not like Clark's age, obviously. But I watched Jumanji as like a 10 or 11-year-old, and I went to bed, and when I woke up, I was positive that I was seeing like creatures in the darkness, and I couldn't sleep for like 2 nights. I've always had too much of an overactive imagination for that shit. And I have, you know, tools to like fix it now. But like, she's kind of screwed because she has me, who to this day, sometimes if I'm sleepy enough, I trick myself into thinking that the floor is covered in cockroaches and like weird shit if I'm tired enough. And then Sam, who had sleep terrors for years and years and years. So I think she's just like destined to overthink when it's nighttime. And that's fine, because both Sam and I cover like different bases with that. We're trying. I think it's always easier when your kid goes through something and you can say like, now that I think about it, like, I also did this. Like, dude, I was convinced that Ninja Turtles were outside of my window, like watching me sleep sometimes. Yeah, I would wake up in the middle of the night and thought that there were cockroaches all over the floor. Like, just weird shit. Just really weird shit that still, to this day, even though I'm able now to be like, I know there's nothing there. To this day, it's the first thing I think of when I wake up in the middle of the night and I need to go to the bathroom if it's dark. My first thought is, but what if there are cockroaches on the floor? Like, weird shit, right? That stuff just, like, sticks with you if it happens over and over and over again. Mathis begged Satan for Spider-Man powers. Amazing. I think I'm going to be on an episode of Illuminati, by the way. I'm really excited. I talked with Mathis about, like, the sort of topics I would like to cover. So, I'm excited. And he was basically like, you know, depending on how much you want to do, like, we can do all of the research into your topic and, like, create the script, or you can create the script if you want, and we'll all, like, riff on it and talk about it, like, however you want to do it. So I think I'm going to do kind of a combination, since I haven't been on it before. And basically, like, make a script and then shoot it over to them and see what they think about it. And if they want to add stuff, great. Yeah, I'm excited. Illuminati is a great podcast that covers, it's Mathis and Jesse Cox, and it's like a podcast about supernatural things and just weird things and mysteries and aliens and, like, just all kinds of stuff. And Alex and Fasciani, that's right. I couldn't remember if Fasciani is on that one or if I know he's on Star Wars New Canon Book Club, but I couldn't remember if he was on Illuminati, so I didn't want to throw his name out there. Oh, it's just a podcast. There isn't a time slot for it. You can listen to it on, like, Spotify and stuff. Jesse's involved, so weird is implied. But, like, Jesse is the skeptic of the show. Jesse's the one who's like, no, that's not what's going on here, right? Like, it's not aliens, you idiots. So they have, like, a good balance, I think, of, like, the person who's kind of in the middle, the person who's, like, fully, like, yes, Bigfoot is real, and the person who's like, there's a logical explanation for everything. So yeah, they do, like, a really good balance, I think. Yeah, you should check it out if you want something to listen to. Actually, now that I think about it, I haven't actually listened to Chilluminati in quite a while. And I need something new to listen to while I'm doing dishes, so. Stream yesterday with Jesse and Octo was so funny, by the way. Oh, I'm glad. I felt bad because it was so hot in here, and it was so late for me that I was just like a zombie. So they kept goofing, and I was like, mm-hmm. So I think I came across like a disapproving mom the entire time. But, you know, we got to talk about BDSM and all kinds of stuff, so it's fine. Ah, nice. Yeah, you know. The hell did I miss last night? Yeah. Yeah, it was just so, like, the example that I gave during the stream was in Fahrenheit, because I still don't totally know how to read Celsius, but in Fahrenheit, when I checked while we were streaming, I checked the temperature outside and it was 70 degrees, which is like a nice, like, not cold, just like a really pleasant temperature to be in, right? And Clark's room was nearly 90 degrees. It's the reason that I throw those two numbers out is to show you that when people say like English houses are built to not let the heat out, that's the problem, right? So even though outside it's 70 degrees and both of her windows are wide open and we have a fan going, her room will still register as being like between 87 and 90 degrees, depending on the time of night. And like we do our best to mitigate it, but it's just really, really hard to get the heat out of these houses. So then you have the situation where Sam and I are on the top floor when we work, right? Thank God today it's been like overcast all morning, so it didn't get super hot during the morning. I was able to come up here like right around the time that the sun was breaking, and it's like not too bad today. But yesterday it was a heat locker in here, and last night, again, like Clark's room, an entire floor down, is too hot. Sam is in a room with a high performance PC on the third floor of this house. And when I went to say goodnight to him, he was literally like wet with sweat. It's insane. And I have no idea what the temperature was in that room, but it was yikes, right? So, yeah, it's too much, man. It's too much. So that's why I pulled the trigger and bought a couple portable AC units. He did take a shower. After his stream was over, he hopped in and he took a cold shower. Same as me. When I was done with the stream, I immediately took a cold shower, and it was amazing. They're here. Yeah, they showed up. I didn't need one in here, thank God, because I don't think I could have dragged it up here anyway. But the idea for me was definitely have one in Sam's room. His room just gets insane. Definitely have one in Sam's room. Have one in Clark's room when we need it. And generally, Sam and I don't stream at the same time. Obviously, sometimes we do. But generally, we don't stream at the same time. So, if my room is bad, I can always try to, like, bring it in here instead. But yeah. I got a fan, but it's not enough. Yeah, our fans, we have those like super quiet, like little Dyson fans. And they're amazing up to a certain point. They're like really nice, especially for streaming because they're not loud, right? But once it gets to a certain heat, it's just blowing hot air in your face. Like all fans, like any fan, right? Isn't it warmer in LA? Again, these houses like hold in the heat, so that doesn't help. They're meant to keep heat in to help with the colder months, but England has slowly been getting warmer and warmer, having more and more crazy summers, less and less snow and cold months just in general. So all of these houses are built to help with the cold, which is terrible when it's hot. It's also humid here, which it wasn't in Los Angeles. So the humid I don't deal very well with. I don't like just waking up in the morning and going, oh, I'm sticky. Like, I hate that. But, you know, it's fine. Again, the reason that most people don't bother to put AC in their houses or buy little AC units like we did is because you trudge through enough of it and then you're like, well, it's done now. Well, it's done now. It's fine. But every English person that I know is like, oh man, now we're right back around to the next year and it's hot again and I didn't get anything to deal with it. So, Yeah. We don't own this house, so we don't want to like install anything. It just makes a lot of sense for us to get little rolly boys. That's me every year. Yeah, Benji was like, I'm hovering over buying that thing because it's on sale, but I'll probably just do what I've done the last 5 years and just wait. Yeah, installing AC is also super expensive. Nobody does it, right? So, yeah. Yeah. It's just different. It's just different. I'm living in a different place. And it's fine. I'll be delighted once we're back into the rainy seasons. Yeah, I heard yesterday was the hottest day of the year so far, but I don't know if that's true. Rainy season in the UK starts in August. Today! Do it! Yeah. Fingers crossed. Let's get some rain in here. Yeah, boy. Yeah, I'll take 1 rain, please. Maybe 2. I'll take a few rains, please. How about rain and heat? The worst. I will never forget. I will never forget the betrayal in my heart of seeing it rain outside when I was in South Carolina and going outside and realizing it's still hot. It's raining and it's still hot. I'm so mad. Like, what kind of joke? Yeah, Arnar, if you could get the gods to like send some shit our way, that would be amazing. Welcome to the South. Help. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. We've been talking for a couple of hours. Let's take a break. Go pee. Grab your pills. Stretch your body. Do all of those fancy, wonderful things. We'll come back. We'll chitty chat some more. Maybe do a puzzle. Whatever. But if you're somewhere hot, make sure that you're hydrating. Drink some water, etc. And I'll be back in just a sec.
Okay. Hello. This is all Super Monkey Ball music again, because I like it. What are you going to do? We haven't done our cheers yet. Nope. This was the plan. To do this. Little sucre. A little stirry stir. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to play D&D tonight. I'm so excited. It's gonna be great. What is this? Oh. Yes, the Brett campaign. Oblivious to me, thank you very much for the gifted subs. Thank you so much. If you were gifted a sub today, be sure to take the time to say thank you. Very sweet. Oh my gosh. The alerts have been off this whole time. Yeah, I'm going to make a misdemeanor command after the stream, I think. It's not an anime podcast. It's a manga podcast. And it's a book club. So, sorry, I'm eating a gingerbread. So, the way it works is we read, like, all or part of a manga. And then we all come together and we, like, talk about how we felt about it. So that's the way that it works. Benji bread. Clark, I don't know why, but Clark calls them gingerbreads. So that's what I call them now, I guess. The Dodge and Cox podcast could be an anime podcast. It could. It could. Oh, arbitrary. Says if this is what we're doing, then happy Valentine's to chat. I hope everyone is doing well. And Ramona Nora says, hi, Dukes in chat. Although things are still closed where I live, I'm glad I can still enjoy my birthday today with all of you. Y'all are real cute, and I hope you're staying safe. Happy birthday, Ramona. Thanks for spending part of it with us. We also had a subscription redemption that we could do now. To give a sub to a random person from Weird Uncle Jay. So let's do that real fast. Oh, nope. Let's do that real fast. Okay. To a rando. One gifted sub from Weird Uncle Jay. There it is. Nubs Pixel. Welcome to the cat gang. Yes. Do you guys want to see my character? I know we already talked about the game a bunch, but if you want to see my character that I'm playing. Where is it? I'm trying to find like the image that he sent me for like Twitter stuff. Oh, here we go. This is my boy. This him. He's a dick. But like, aren't all 13-year-olds? So, that's him. Seabear is the artist. Seabear is lovely and very, very talented. And I think so far has done like all of the art for Brett's campaigns. Brett has like a Patreon running for it. So He pays for like all of our character art and all of that stuff from the Patreon, which is super cool. So yeah. I was terrible when I was 13. Me too. Everybody's terrible at 13, right? Like, got a lot going on. Hormonally, chemically. What session is this? This will be session 1. This will be the very beginning of the campaign. So if you're somebody who's like, I love D&D games, but I always find myself finding out about them when they've already started and I don't have the capacity to catch up, this will literally be session 1. How many D&Ds are you in? I'm going to be in a third, but like in terms of like streamed D&Ds, it's this one, Misdemeanor, Strange Roads on Arcadium's channel, and then I think I'm gonna hop into Joe's game, either as like a side character for a little bit, or we're gonna feel it out. So. I did talk about that, Weird Uncle Jay, yeah. I mean, I basically told you guys what the other players know, which is that the ship was out at sea. Suddenly the skies got very dark. Lightning struck, hit the ship, and I was like, where the lightning struck through the like top of the ship, I was passed out down below. And when I woke up, I like panicked and explained that I had tried to do a spell and that it obviously didn't work and that I needed to get back as soon as possible. And that's basically what happened in session 0, which was not streamed. It was like our who are all of us, like let's establish why we're together kind of session. How old are the other characters? Super Shigi's character is like 100 and something because she's an elf. Hunter's character and Gerard's character are both human, I believe. Hunter's character is like an old graying captain, so I'm gonna assume like 70s, 80s. And Gerard's character, I think, is like late 30s, but one of those late 30s where he's been through some shit. So yeah. Old and graying, isn't that 40 plus? Not of the 40 plus year olds that I know. My dad did not take care of himself whatsoever, has had all kinds of issues with his body and with addictions and all kinds of stuff his entire life, and didn't start to look like what I would think of as like old and gray until maybe mid-60s. Like, he didn't start to look like an old man, right, until mid-60s. And that's, like, treating his body like shit his whole life. So I'm not saying, like, do you have gray hair? Are you balding? Like, that sort of stuff can start literally in high school. I'm saying, like, do you look old? Do you look like an old person? Which I would say is, like, more 70s is when that starts to be a thing, from my perception of people. Yeah, I've got a few little, you can't see them very well, but I've got a few little gray hairs right in the front here, which is exciting. Sam's got some gray in his beard, which I love and he hates. I'm getting a gray like Claire Saffitz, and I'm so here for it. Yes. I love it. Yeah, I've always loved gray hair. I've always loved, like, the flecks of gray and everything. I have so many friends who are like, yo, because of lockdown, all of my gray has had to grow out, and honestly, I'm here for it, and I love it. So I'm just going to leave it now, which is so great. Mm-hmm. One of my friends that I knew for like years and years and years, that I met in my like early teens, I think it was when we were finishing up high school that she started to get like temple, like grays in her temples. And she has a bunch now. And I was so jealous, right? Of course, me. I was like, oh man, I want to start getting grays. And she was like, shut up. Yeah, it's great. I love it. Tiny old woman truly is Dodger's final form. That's all I want. That's all I want, is for this devil deal to like, to just stop at a certain point, and for me to go from I'm youthful forever to just an old lady. I don't know how it'll happen, but like, I fully believe I'll look about this age for a while, and then suddenly I'll look old. I'm down for that. Did you ever plan to be an old cat lady? Has Clark altered the plan? I always planned to be a mom, whether I had to adopt a kid or have a kid or whatever. So no, I didn't plan on like being that person who was like, I just have lots of animals. I definitely wanted to raise humans. Yeah, I've wanted to raise humans, and I get to raise a human now, and it's very fun. This is so hot. I want to do the cheers, but it's so hot. Oh, Kate Welch, I love her. I remember there was one day where we realized that like our Alexas could talk to each other. I don't have one anymore, and I'm sorry if I pinged that for anybody. I don't have one anymore, but at the time when we had one, we realized that we could like send each other weird voice messages over our Alexas. And I like woke up one day and I was doing something and my Alexa was like, hey, you have a message. And it was from Kate. It was so weird. Oh, that's nice. For me, it's like, if somebody says that they don't want kids, I'm not going to be like, you never know. You might change. It might change. Of course it might change. People are constantly changing. But like, that still isn't ever going to be my choice, right? Like, it doesn't actually help anything for me to be like, but kids are a blessing, etc., etc. When it comes to kids, it is much more respectful to them and how they feel about their own family dynamic to just accept it at face value. And if somebody says, I don't want kids, to be like, great. And if they say, you know what, I'm starting to warm up to the idea of having kids, be like, great. And that's it. That's all you gotta do. Oh. Yeah, I honestly think the like excess of pressure does more harm than good when it comes to people being able to like again have the family dynamic that they want, whether that pressure results in them being like fine, I'll have a kid when they don't want a kid, or if the pressure means that they've like had to vehemently deny that they want one for so long just to get everybody off their back that once they're like, maybe it would be nice to have a kid, they feel like awkward about going to their family and being like, I think I'd like to adopt, or I think I'd like to have a kid, right? Because you don't want them to be like, I knew it. I knew you'd want one eventually, right? And you just want to avoid that whole stupid conversation. Like, it's bad regardless. Like, the pressuring is bad regardless. So, like, let's just stop doing it. You have a Twitch. I've been watching your videos on YouTube for ages. You're the best. Oh, what's up? Thank you. Yeah, I stream almost every day. I love that shirt. Thank you. It's an old Whoops shirt. It's super pretty. Sam never really wears it. The shape of it is kind of weird, but for like an oversized shirt for me, it works. It's one of those shirts that like, I think it's an XL. And you know how sometimes, those of you who wear XLs, sometimes they're like more of a rectangle, and sometimes they're literally just like a box. So it doesn't really like, it's not like a super flattering shirt shape on Sam.
Welcome, you fine cat-loving, coffee-drinking burrito babe.
Anthus, welcome to the Cat Gang. Thank you very much. I can drink it now. I can drink my coffee now. Guys, now is the time. Grab your Beverleys. Grab your Beverleys. Superbread is the one who has redeemed our cheers today. So what's up, Superbread? Thank you very much. Thank you all so much for being here for the stream today. We've had a couple of people be like, I didn't even know that you streamed. Welcome, guys, if you're still here. Ignore that. Welcome, guys, if you're still here. I hope that you've enjoyed the stream so far. I hope you come back. I hope, there's been good vibes for you. Yeah, as always, some of us are having a bad day, and I hope that this can be a lovely part of that bad day. I hope that it can lift your spirits a little bit. And for those of us who are having a good day, we can be part of that, right? We can be part of the spirit lifting. So, I appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope you all have a great weekend. And that's it. 3, 2, 1, cheers. Boop. It was the top of my water bottle is what fell. Ah! Whenever Clark sees this now, she goes, ah! She like whispers, ah! It's very funny. I thought the stream was ending. Not for a little bit. Not yet. It's just so good. The mouth. That's a Dantan emote. The stream a few days ago when you spilled coffee all over. That is by far the worst spill I've ever done. Worst I've ever done. Like, put my keyboard out of commission. Got all over the wall, all over the floor. I had to change all my clothes. That was insane. That was awful. And I felt so bad because, like, thank God Octo was there. So I could be like, can you please talk to chat while I'm, like, trying to fix this? So shout outs to Octo, who is such a great wingman in that situation, to just be like, yep, here we go. Let's talk about Beyblades. Like, he was just there for me, but it was awful. I was so sad as well because I was, like, really comfy. I was in like nice comfy clothes, like ready to just hang with my friend, and spilled coffee and waylaid my entire evening by like half an hour. But what kind of Beyblade would you be? Oh my god. Last night, Octo was like, I have a question for you, Jesse, and also Dukes. And I was like, okay. And he said, this was during the stream, if you want to watch the VOD. He was like, if you were a Beyblade, what kind of Beyblade would you be? I don't know shit about Beyblades, and neither does Jesse, and we made that very clear. But my attempt at it was to just make something up. Jesse behaved like a complete old man and was like, I don't know what Beyblades are. I can't answer this question unless I know what they are. And I was like, of course you can. Just make something up. And he was like, no, I need to know what they are. It was so funny. That stream was wild. Jesse's not that old. He's like a couple years older than me. Yeah. A couple years older than me. Octo and I think, are the same age. I think. There's a certain point. Those of you who are pretty young and you feel like you like really strictly know the ages of all of the people that you potentially hang out with. There's definitely an age where you just don't know anymore. You don't know how old anybody is anymore, and it stops really mattering. It's very freeing to just be with somebody and be like, I don't know how old you are. And then this true story, and then to hang out with somebody and have them be like, oh man, my 40th birthday is tomorrow. You're 40. That's incredible. Oh my god. Oh yeah, I never know how old I am either. I think I'm about to turn 23. I think I'm about to turn 33. I think. I think. Yeah, I went through a really weird stage in my early 20s where I was still convinced I was in my late teens. So like most people, right, they hit 21 and they're like, I'm 21, right? But I didn't really like take advantage of being 21 at all. So it didn't really mean anything to me, really. So when people would ask me how old I was, I want to say up until I was like 22 or 23, my initial... I wanted to respond with 19, like almost every time. And then I would be like, I'm in my 20s. I'm in my 20s. I'm in my 20s. Like it was so difficult for me to remember for some reason. And then now I've hit 30. And a lot of you know, I was really excited to hit 30. I was like, 30 is the shit. I'm so excited to be 30. That's going to be, as a person that everybody treats like a child, I'm so excited to be able to look somebody in the eye and be like, don't talk to me that way. I'm a 30-year-old fucking woman. Like, I can't wait. So ever since I turned 30, anytime somebody asks me how old I am, I'm like, in my 30s. I don't know. I don't remember anymore. So, yeah, I think it's very normal to like hit an age and not necessarily like resonate with it really hard, but not feel like much has changed for a while and get confused about what age you are. Gas guy thought Dodger was a child. Oh my god. I don't want to watch that clip. Age doesn't matter, milestones matter. I would say that that's true in general, but also not everybody's going to have the same milestones, and a lot of people tie age to milestones. Like, you should have done this by this age. You should have done this by this age, which is part of the pressure system that we were just talking about, right? Of like, why haven't you done this yet? Why aren't you doing this yet? And I feel like overall that's starting to get dismantled a little bit, which I'm delighted about. But like, for me, in order to hopefully be in a place where I was pretty stable and also not be so old that I felt like I couldn't keep up with a little kid, I wanted to either start trying for a kid or look into adopting a kid around 30 years old. That was like a personal milestone for me. And, you know, other people around me perhaps occasionally were like, when are you going to have a kid, right? And I would just be like, when I feel like it. I was pretty open that I wanted to have a kid, but it was like on my terms, right? I think personal milestones are definitely fine, and they can be tied into age for you personally, but sometimes that is affected by what is expected by people in your family and maybe your peers, like what your peers are doing and where it seems like they're at in life, can affect how you perceive like where you should be, that kind of a thing. For legal reasons, this is a joke, but I've never been carded for anything since I was 13. Allegedly. For legal reasons, it's a joke. It's starting to get warm. It's starting to get a little schwitzy now. Remember to hydrate, y'all. Also, don't let me forget, Cody Davies, who is in chat before, messaged me and said that they're doing like a big COVID charity stream right now. So I want to raid them when we're done with the stream. And I don't want to forget, so remind me. More water. You know how I was saying that, like, when I've been getting up and down, I've been like not having dizzy spells, but having that kind of like that like blood pressure thing happen when you get up too quickly. That's been happening to me like a lot. From what I can tell, everything is like, is it hot where you are? Has it been getting hotter? Have there been big fluctuations in temperature? That's why. So, today was a little bit better, but I also chugged water. So it can be a dehydration thing, and it can be a temperature changing thing. So if that happens to you a lot, drink some water. Yes, that was the other thing, is it was like, have something around to be able to replenish electrolytes, because that's part of the problem, is that you don't have everything that you need in your body to like keep it running properly. So like, yeah. Could be a menopause thing. It would be a little early, but probably not the first thing my brain would go to. It's not unheard of. It's not unheard of, chat, but it's not the first thing I'm going to think. The second I started Googling it, Sam was like, you're gonna see a lot of stuff that's gonna convince you that you're dying. Just like, just try to focus on the things that make the most sense. We did do the cheers already, yeah. I don't have any interest in bringing more kids into our life anytime soon. Generally, Sam and I are of the opinion of like, we're really happy. We're really happy with just Clark. Again, life changes. If there's a point where we're like, yeah, let's do that again. Sam knows that I'm very interested in adopting, so we would, probably look into that as well if we decided that we wanted to do the kid thing again. But honestly, we're really happy, just the three of us. So. Yeah, she's good. She's growing. She's growing like crazy. Verbally. She's like... it's like every day she's speaking in a new way or talking differently, like in a more advanced way. She's really, really clear in some situations about, like, this doesn't sound impressive, okay? This isn't going to sound impressive, but, like, she's really crystal clear about, like, I do want this. I do not want this. And sometimes when she's upset, it kind of, like, blurs together. So sometimes she'll come in and be like, oh, here's an example. I made her falafel for lunch and then grabbed some cold peas. I had cooked up some peas for another dinner and they were in the fridge and I was like, ooh, cold peas. That sounds amazing because it's hot, right? So I grabbed peas and then I also went to grab broccoli and she was like, I do not want broccoli. And I was like, that's okay. I'm just going to put it on your plate anyway and maybe you'll want it. And she went, I do want broccoli. And I was like, okay. Great. I'm putting it on your plate. And she was like, can I have some? Can I have some broccoli, please? Like, just really, her enunciation has gotten really, really, like, crisp, you know? But this, I don't want it, but I also do want it, or no, but also yes thing that we've been, like, struggling with for a while now. We're still trying to figure out the best ways to mitigate that. Obviously, a lot of it to this day is like, I don't want you to do it. I want to do it. No, you shouldn't do that. Yes, I will do it, right? Do you want to wear this shirt? No. Do you want to put the shirt on yourself? Yes. Right? That kind of thing. Asking the right questions with a toddler is like half the battle. Your kid sounds like a future delegator. It's very normal. It's the age where kids are like understanding their independence and are interested in figuring out how to do their own thing. We have a couple of different people who are in chat consistently who are like, who just work with kids or study kid psychology or things like that, and have given a lot of like really good feedback when I've talked about things having to do with Clark. And generally it's been, yeah, she's at the perfect age for her to be like wanting to learn how to do it herself, you know. And Sam and I have always been very much all about like, yeah, let's foster a lot of independence in her, right? Let's let her learn how to do stuff. We're not in a rush to go anywhere, really. Generally, you know, we live at home and we work at home. So there isn't like a rush to, you know, chuck her off to daycare or anything like that, or like to get out the door most of the time. If she wants to take her time figuring out how to put on her shoes, if she wants to take her time figuring out how to take things from the washing machine to the dryer, like all kinds of, you know, whatever she's interested in trying to do, like, yeah, we can have the patience to let her figure it out. That's fine. But also trying to remind her and encourage her to ask for help if she needs help. So those are like the two big things currently, is she gets really frustrated, and instead of just going to help her, being like, do you need help? Right? Like letting her ask for help if she wants help, and letting her be frustrated if she doesn't want help. And like both of those are okay. You guys get to live at home? We do live at home. We do live at home. It's true. But yeah, it's all just like a, I don't want to say experiment. That's not the right word, but it's a learning process for every single person involved. For her, for me, for Sam. We're all just figuring it out, you know. Do you give Clark puzzles? Yes, she has lots of puzzles. She has lots of, she has like little board block ones, like wood ones that are animals, and like all of the body parts of the animal are separate pieces, and so you put the animal together. She has quite a few of those. And then on the box that those came in, side note, there's a picture that's like, you could also get this same thing but with trucks and stuff, and she loves cars, so she's like, Mommy, could we get the trucks? And then we also have jigsaw puzzles for her. So the biggest that she's been able to do with jigsaw puzzles is 5-piece. But she does them really well. She loves them. I would love to give her more of those. No, it was like a, so these were car themed. So it was a 2-piece puzzle that was a tractor, and then a 3-piece puzzle that was a double-decker bus, a 4-piece puzzle that is a car, and then a 5-piece puzzle that is, what was the last one? I can't remember. There's another vehicle. What does 2-piece mean? Like 2 pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. So it's literally 2 pieces. You click them together, it makes a tractor, right? So it's like the earliest version of a jigsaw puzzle that you can give a kid. It's just 2 pieces. Like, these are the same picture. Can you put them together? And then you can move up to 3 pieces, and then 4 pieces. And we have a 5-piece one, and I can't remember what vehicle it is, but they're all different vehicles. A Tesla. Yeah, it's a Tesla. But yeah. She keeps getting into, there's like a little side area of this house where we just kind of shove all of our extra electronics and things, and I've any puzzles that I finish, I've been putting them there as well. And she keeps going over there and grabbing a puzzle and going, Mummy puzzle? Mummy puzzle? Because she calls them mummy puzzles, the big ones. The big ones are mummy puzzles. So she'll be like, can we do this one? Can we do a mummy puzzle? And I'm like, no, honey. When I'm working on a puzzle, if she wants to help me with it, I let her. And she's gotten really good about, like, if Mommy has placed it, don't pick it up again. But any of the ones that are like in this box, so in like the outside box that it came in, any of those pieces you can place where you want, or you can play with them, whatever you want to do. Just make sure we don't lose any pieces, right? So I keep a close eye on her, but she really likes placing pieces on the big puzzles. I got my first knife at 3 so that I could carve wood. It was small, but I don't know how I'm alive. What? That's wild. I also had a knife when I was like 4. Is that weird? I don't know what a normal age is to get a knife, but also I don't think I would give my kid a knife that wasn't intended to be used for cooking anytime early on in their life. But I don't live in like the woods or anything. But I did grow up in the woods and I was not given a knife, so I don't know. I used my first knife at 6 years old in Scouts. That kind of makes sense because it's like you're under observation, I guess is the word that I'm going for. Yeah, it's a controlled environment. Sure. When are you playing D&D again? Tonight! Tonight is episode 1 of Misdemeanor, if you would like to tune into that. Here, you know what? Let's just make the command together, shall we? Since it keeps coming up. Let's just make the command together. So... Oh no, I've been logged out. Well, son of a bitch. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Okay, custom commands. Here we go. So, the way that Strange Roads is formatted... Right. So I'm going to just open this up and copy... Actually, I'm going to change it. Strange Roads is a D&D show on twitch.tv/Arcadium, Wednesday nights at 11 p.m. BST. It has co-players Jesse Cox, Kelly, Siren, Timac, and Bikeman. VODs can be found at youtube.com/Arcadium or /GloriousArcadium. I think it's just Arcadium, but... Just Arcadium. Okay, great. Great, save. So now we'll add a command for misdemeanor. The Misdemeanor is a D&D show on twitch.tv/Brett Ultimus. Saturday nights at 9 p.m. BST. Co-players: Gerard the Completionist, Super Shigi, and I can never remember. Dookie Shed, that is it. It never sounds like it's right, but it always is. Okay, and Dookie Shed. VODs can be found on youtube.com/Brett Ultimus. Wonderful. Save. Okay. Great. There we go. Done. Perfect. And now both commands tell you where VODs are, which is also helpful. We did it together as a group. We did it together. Oh, I wish I could see Zacky Wacky in practice. I wish I could see Zacky Wacky. I forgot I need to link. I need to link it. Oh, Zacky. What a goob. I'm gonna leave that up. The link for Arcadium is broken. Oh, you're right, it is. YouTube links don't work. In commands, you can't do a YouTube link? Like, at all? That doesn't make any sense. I just meant that the YouTube one doesn't work. Oh, okay. I was gonna be like, what? But the Brett Ultimus one does. Or no? The Brett one is fine. What the hell? Oh, it's because it's Taltican. It's not Arcadium or Glorious Arcadium. It's youtube.com/Taltican. That's why. Okay. Hold on, hold on. Strange Roads. There it is. Oops. Save. Okay, try it again. Brett Ultimus trash can is where the VODs go for D&D. Oh, you're right. Arcane Academy episodes are there. Oh, weird. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. So also misdemeanor. Okay. Okay. They should both be fixed now. What do you recommend to get into Arcadium's universe? Well, there's a delightful show that you could watch called Strange Roads. What's nice about Strange Roads, to toot our horn, what's nice about Strange Roads is that we have two players that have never played D&D before, one player who has played a little bit, and then Jesse and I who have played a bunch. So a lot of stuff gets explained and re-explained, much to his chat's just absolute dismay. Nearly, I would say like 98 to 99% of the people watching are always like, they're new players, it's fine. There's always like one or two people. Two people in his chat. And again, I haven't like really been looking at chat for the last couple of episodes, but there have been a few points where I've looked over at chat when Arcadium has been explaining like combat or something to a player, and somebody in there is just like, they should all know this already. They are on a D&D show. I would never go onto into a D&D situation without knowing the combat rules explicitly. It is a waste of everyone's time. It is disrespectful. And I'm just like, keep in mind, Arcadium specifically loves DMing for new players. He loves like spreading the joy of D&D to people who have never played before or who haven't played very much. He loves that. He loves being a teacher. He's super down, right? And I was talking about that with Octo, right? Because I was saying this in this specific situation that I'm quoting right now. This person also was like, I would never go into a situation in D&D if I hadn't planned out my character up to level 20. And I said that to Octo, like kind of laughing, like I've never planned a character past the next level in my life. And Octo was like, I actually totally do that. I do plan out my characters for 20 levels, but I'm not gonna shit on somebody for not doing that, right? Like that would be really stupid. It's enjoyable for me to plan out the trajectory of the character in terms of how I'm going to level them. And I enjoy like min-maxing their combat potential to make sure that when we're in combat, I am useful to the game. Because the rest of the game is RP and you can be whoever you want in the RP sections. It's just great to like be useful in combat, right? Which I totally agree with. But yeah, it was a breath of fresh air to talk about it with Octo, to have somebody be like, I do that, but there's a way to do that and not have like a shitty stance about it of like, everyone should do this or they don't care enough about the game. There's min-maxing and then there's what if I'm a child sorcerer? My character is... It's like not I can't some things that I could say right now are spoilers, so I'm not going to, but the way that this character is built is not high combat potential, but you never know. It's a lot of RNG the way that we've built him, which could be awful and could be great, so we'll see. Can you please bring your daughter in? I don't know what she's doing. She's hanging out with her dad, so. May RNGesus be on your side. I read it out to chat, but the other day I was talking with Brett, and yeah, when we were building part of this. And he said, I can't find it now, but wait, no, I can totally search for it. Yes, here it is. Wait, oh no, where is it? What the hell? There we go. I said, I've been looking for good sorcerer builds so that all of the drawbacks that we're putting into place can be counterbalanced by a good build. And Brett said, you'll be balanced. You'll just have moments of folly. And I said, yes, may the rolls be ever in my favor. And Brett goes, and may you not blow up the ship, smiley face. And now I'm so stressed. I'm gonna blow up the ship. Like, I don't like that you put that in my mind as a possibility if I roll badly enough. I don't like that. So, there you go. I'm not wild magic, no. But we kind of like homebrewed our own thing. I'm a storm sorcerer, which is an unearthed arcana thing that you can find with like swashbuckler and things like that. It's basically like a like lightning and air based sorcery. It's very tempestuous, to use a word. And I was saying, like, I wanted to be a normal sorcerer sort of thing, but to have some kind of a table to roll on. If I, like, say that I roll a nat 1, then we have to go to another table, and roll on a separate table to see what happens to my magic because I'm really young and I have a lot of power, which is good, but it means I'm not old enough to have good control over it, is like the idea. So my magic could do max damage. It could redirect to a party member, right? Like it could do all kinds of bad shit. It could be totally fine. There are some numbers in there that are like, nothing happens. It's fine. The spell fizzles out. You just, don't use the spell. So that's why we're like, hopefully it all works out. Just trying to reflect the fact that I'm young and I have never been in combat in my life, and I'm having to learn how to do that is the idea. You're playing a pretty boy himbo. I love it. That's a cool concept. Yeah. I don't know if Brett plans on posting it to his Patreon, but yeah, he homebrewed like all kinds of stuff for me, which is super cool. So do you think you'd ever be interested in DMing? I've DM'd a couple of one-shots. Tomorrow I'm doing a Lady Blackbird game, which is a free game that you can find that's supposed to be like between 2 and 4 hours. I have not ever DM'd D&D. I've never DM'd D&D because, again, there are some rules inside of D&D that I still don't fully understand. Lady Blackbird is so good. Yeah, I think it should be fun. I'm cursed with bad rolls no matter what game I play. Who are you playing Lady Blackbird with? Some of my old LA friends from like the old group of people that I used to hang out with there. So like Jeannie and Isaac, Lou and Dar, and just friends of mine that you may or may not know from things. But yeah, it's just gonna be like an offline, let's all catch up and try to figure out how to play Lady Blackbird sort of thing. Lady Blackbird, the more that I like try to familiarize myself with the rules and how they work, it's a little bit Fate-y, which has helped me kind of understand the way to approach it. It's like you have all of these, when you're attempting to do something, you have all of these traits, and you can say like, I'm going to distract the guard. And like, in order to do a good roll, you want to be able to like tap as many traits as you can and like make some kind of a, what's the word that I'm looking for? An argument for why that works. So like, well, one of my traits is that I'm deceptive, and I'm like, I'm trying to convince this guard that I'm interested in what he has to say, right? I'm being deceitful right now. And that gives you another die. So you want to like tap as many things as you can and explain why, like traits for your character, and explain why in order to make your dice pool as big as possible to like overcome a roll is like kind of the idea, which is cool. Yeah, it should be fun. So every character has the traits. Anybody who has played Lady Blackbird before or watched it or whatever, if I'm explaining something and it's like wrong, please tell me, because I'm still trying to like figure out exactly how it works. So you have traits with tags. So one of the traits, so like, okay, for the character that I built, was it on this phone? Oh my God, I don't think it was. It wasn't, but I still have a forum thing up. Oh, nope. It went away. So, so say that I was like, one of my traits is that I'm an entertainer, right? I have the trait of the entertainer. Entertainer comes along with tags. So the tags under entertainer could be things like singing, maybe sleight of hand, charisma, like those sort of things that you could argue have to do with being an entertainer or like being distracting, or right. So those might be tags. So when you're trying to increase your pool, you tap tags, and you don't start with all of them. So there might be a list of like 7 different tags, and you start with like 5 of them active, and you can spend experience points as you're playing to like activate more tags. So that's the traits. And then you have keys, and the keys are the way that you level up. So, or not level up, but like it's the way that you gain experience, and then you can spend your experience points to like enhance yourself in whatever way you want. So keys might be something like, so the character that I made, one of the keys that I gave them is, you have, oh wait, was this the key? Yes. So one of the keys that I gave them is, you have the key of the protector. And so along with that comes a description of like, you have grown close to people from the Owl, which is like the ship that all of the characters were on before they were captured. At the beginning of the game, everybody's captured. So you've grown close to the people on the Owl, one or more people that you can determine at the start of play. You've grown close to them, gain experience, turn the key, gain experience if you do something, if you go out of your way to protect or nurture that person or those people. And then there's a buy off mechanic with these keys. So you can like get rid of them if you want. Buy off with experience, buy off that key and get rid of it if you do something to purposefully put that person or the group in danger. So it's like that kind of an idea, right? So that's how you gain experience, but you can pay to like get a new key or to get rid of a key. And then everybody has secrets. Every player has a secret. And your secrets give you like some kind of a boost of some type. So again, for this character's a spy. So for this character, one of their secrets is the secret of rank. So they secretly have a military rank that they can call upon to get privileges associated with that rank, but it's a secret, right? so they don't, like, it's up to them as the player, like, do I want to reveal this or not? And will that affect like whether or not I can still gain these privileges or how the group sees me? Oh, King's Warrior. Wait, yeah, let's look at our Valentines. Oh my gosh, a bunch of Valentines suddenly. What? Evil Crash says hydrate. We have a command for hydrate, you goofball. T. Ironer says, since I unfortunately made people have a few bad memories with an earlier chat message, I got a few touching DMs about it, and I want to give a Valentine to everyone like me who's grieving instead on their birthdays. It gets easier over time, I promise. PG Wipeout says, for chat for keeping Doogs engaged while I drive into the office, listening into these streams makes the 2 hours a little bit shorter. Living of Stories says, I finally got to see my boyfriend after 6 months last week. We watched you and Sam play Overcooked, and seeing you two together gives me strength to get through the tough times with LDR. Mighty Deacon says, hey Doogs, you probably saw the tweet already. Since we're talking about D&D, I thought I would highlight this. A young girl with leukemia had her D&D adventure published. Yes, I retweeted that actually. And King's Warrior says, I have a question for you. You can answer it in a future stream if you don't have time right now. But my question is, what would be your best piece of advice for staying in love and or keeping love and romance alive in a romantic relationship? I normally get this question in like an LDR sort of direction. Valentines are cheaper than hydrates, are they? Interesting. I'll have to adjust. I think hydrates is one of those ones that that changes depending on how many people are in chat. It's one of the like automated ones, so that might be why. Or maybe not. I don't know. Normally I'm asked that question in an LDR sense, and my answer is always something along the lines of, you know, let the other person know that you're thinking about them, ask them how their day is. I think just in general, since Sam and I have been living under the same roof like consistently for 3 years now, something like that. I think it's still a lot of that, right? It's still a lot of saying, hey, how are you? I love you, you know? But also, like, what's going on? You know? Can I help you with anything? That's a big one for me. Can I help you with anything? Is there anything that, like, that you need? I don't know. It depends on the person, doesn't it? Not to get into like love language sort of stuff, but like depending on the person, they're going to appreciate different things. And I think being aware of what sort of things are helpful to them or what sort of things make them feel loved is something that you learn over time, right? So Sam and I think still, and maybe forever, are still like learning about each other. But like trust is a big thing. Respect is a big thing. I have never hidden this, but I've been cheated on like a lot in my life. And there have definitely been moments where I've felt like a weird, you know, ghost from the past feeling in my heart, right? And I know that Sam is absolutely dedicated to me. That we are both respectful of one another's, you know, desire for a monogamous relationship, and yeah, and that we love each other. And I think like it's partly communication for us, me being open with him if I'm like I'm feeling a little insecure, like and hopefully that he feels like he can say that to me as well. But you know, if you are in a situation where you've decided I want to be with this one person for the rest of my life, again, not everybody wants that. But for both Sam and I, we're just very monogamous people, and that's what we want. And in that situation, you have to communicate a lot, you know? It'll happen. I went through a lot of duds. Sam went through a lot of duds. And again, those people weren't duds for you know, they have their relationships going, I'm sure, that are great, maybe. But that was not good for me. That was not good for Sam. And Sam and I were good for each other. And have grown a lot together and learned how to communicate with each other better. And I hope that, you know, when we're 40, just not that far away, right? I hope that when we're 40, we'll be able to look back on 32, 33 and be like, we're even better now than we were then. I think it's like a constant process if you decide that you want to be with one person forever, you know? We talking about love and shit? We are talking about love and shit. But yeah. Yes, that's a big thing, Clizix. It took, I want to say, time like 3 or 4, something like that, before I was finally like, this isn't my fault. like this is not my fault. This is, unfortunately, it's me like gravitating toward people with maybe the same problems. People definitely have types, right? It might be me gravitating toward people with the same problems and not noticing the same red flags. It could be that. But at the end of the day, it was their choice to not tell me like, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore, or I'm interested in this, I found someone else, or whatever, right? It was their choice to like go behind my back and do something instead of being honest with me. Again, communication key, right? So you can't, right? Like, it's not your fault. It's just not. It was their choice to be a coward about it. So. Those sorts of things, those sorts of like affirmations, those like personal affirmations, you have to repeat them quite a few times sometimes before you actually believe it. I've been there. I feel you. And I can say with complete confidence that I am now in a relationship with somebody who adores me, and it feels great, and it feels different from every other relationship I was ever in. So. Oblivious to Me, thank you so much for the gifted subs. If you were gifted a sub just now, be sure to say thank you to Oblivious to Me. Cody says, I believe in you. Thanks, bud. And Leandra says, you're a great person and a great role model for me. I strive to be as good as you are. Oh, goodness. Thank you very much. Remember, there aren't good people. There are good actions. Don't ever convince yourself that you're a bad person. Every person can choose to do good things and can choose to improve their own lives or attempt to, right? If you've been convinced in your life that you're a bad person, you're not. In the same way that I won't call myself a good person. I will say that I make an effort to do good things. And that we can all make an effort to do good things, right? Yeah. Okay. Okie dokie. Fluffy Fluffy Bun Bun, Yorkshire, Scoto, Sir William, and Bromanity, thank you very much for reminding everybody to drink some water. Because for some of us where we are, it's fucking hot. Oh, Michelanio has redeemed a subscription and said, almost all my points are gone, but give it to a nice random person in this amazing chat. Will do. All right, we've got another rando. Another rando gift sub from Michelanio. Or Michelanio. One of those. There it is. Dummote. D-U-M-M-O-T-E. Welcome to the Cat Gang. And thank you again. Okay. Reminder, we are going to be rating Zelda Universe. Cody, are you still in chat? Is it Zelda Universe TV? Is that your channel? I could always go look. I'm just lazy. Sick. There it is. And they live right now. Amazing. Okay. Cool. They're doing some charity stuff for COVID, which is awesome. So we're going to go say hi to them. First, I'm going to read the activity feed and then send you all on your way. Again, got the Misdemeanor show later today, 9 p.m. BST, if you would like to tune into that. It's episode 1, so you can get in on the ground floor if you want to watch a new D&D show. All right, Rebecca Necco, thank you for the 4 years. Happy anniversary. Ogle, thank you for the 32. Say and Adam for the 4 years as well. Dinah, thank you for the 40. Skillless Assassin for the 6. Fatal for All for the 53. Super Nixter for the 60. Happy 5 years. Thank you very much. Avi, thank you for gifting an entire year to Talendal. Holy moly. Thank you, Avi. That's very generous. Sleepytron, thank you for the 32. Dinah, thank you for gifting a sub. Edwin Moore for the 74. Blazekins for the 1 year. Happy anniversary. Silpha, thank you for the 58. Meow Say Meow for the 26. Legion 24PL for the 13. Tolfontos for the 28. Why, hello there. Thank you very much for subscribing. Trevor, thank you for the 28. Missiper for the 4. New Guy for the 21. Fuzzy Pockets for the 6. It May Be Seraph, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang. Killix, thank you for the 46. Fletcher Darkwater for the 49. Tassuman for the 1 year. Happy anniversary. Otundra, thank you for the 52. Endeavor for the 40. Baker Base for the 27. Gajibble. Gajibble? Sure. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang. Uncle Jay, thank you for the 4 years. Happy anniversary. Griffin, thank you for the 51. Crockett's Dota for the 15. Empty Noise for the 35. Villas Farthik for the 17. Pops Cockles, thank you for the 19. Crumbling Biscuit for the 35. Vonilla for the 6. Shadow of the Potato, thank you for the 8. Racebark for the 4 years. Happy anniversary. Stompa for the 23. Sir William for the 25. Edward McDougall, thank you very much for gifting a sub. Avi, thank you for the 59. Oblivious to Me, thank you for gifting subs. Loey, thank you for the 33. Teviston for the 43. Avi, thank you for gifting a sub to Ariuner. Ariuner, it was your 34. Dr. Jazzfist, thank you for the 35. Hesjingizen, thank you for the 5. I'm so sorry. Hula Boop, thank you for gifting subs. Anthus, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang. Sleepytron, thank you for gifting a sub. Bloodfire for the 51. Evil Crash for the 65. Dr. John for the 41. Johan Leafheart for the 27. Sonic Advance for the 47. Apex Wayne for the 5. Arcelbo for the 59. Arnar, thank you for gifting a sub. Rin for the 3 years. Happy anniversary. Oblivious to Me, thank you again for those gifted subs at the end here. And Offered Leak, thank you for the 35. There's the raid. Go spread the love. The charity love. I will see you guys next time. Okay? D&D tonight. Manga pod tomorrow, as far as I know. So I'll see you guys for either of those. If you would like to tune in, have a great rest of your day. Take care of yourselves. Stay cool. And give yourselves a big old hug today, maybe. You know the drill. All right, bye.